Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jefferies, the present-day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those who are wanting to really rock their lives and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. Do you remember at school when we used to make glue out of flour and water? Do you remember how it smelled after it had been in the jar for a few days and how it set like cement when you used it? Well, that same cement-like action is happening inside your body every time you eat white bread, white rice, white pasta. And after it's been there for a while, it becomes just as foul as it was in that jar when you made it at school, sticking to the walls of your bowel and sucking the life out of you by leaching through the walls of your bowel. Now, officially, that's called bowel plaque. I call it bum glue, and that's what we're talking about tonight. Why? Because my personal mission in life is to get bum glue, white, refined and processed grains like white bread, white rice and white pasta off our supermarket shelves in my lifetime. Why? Because they're poison. Let me explain. In life, we want our foods to be as close to nature as possible. And the further we get away from nature, the less nutrition and the more acidic response in our body and our health. And that's why it's bad for you. Simple, refined and processed foods are acidifying on the body and cause inflammation. And that's what's behind so many day-to-day life ailments. Inflammatory diseases are conditions that they're kind of characterized by inflammation. Makes sense. So things like allergies and asthma and autoimmune diseases and celiac and gout and lupus and so many other conditions, arthritis, that are fed by inflammation. So how do you tell if something is inflamed? You know, if it's an inflammation-fed kind of ailment? Well, the ancients used to say there were these 5 cardinal signs. They were redness, so something like red raised, so swelling, so red and inflamed and swollen, heat, pain, and a loss of function. So think of it through life. When you've had something that's been red and swollen and hot and painful, it's been an inflammation from some reason, depending what was happening in your life at the time. So we want foods that are as close to nature as possible. We want our foods to be as close to nature as possible. So you should be avoiding, grains that have had the wheat germ removed, such as, the white bread and white pasta and white rice. Imagine you just go out into the field and harvest the wheat and thrash it and get the grain. That's it. Close to nature. Right there. The same with rice. Harvest the rice, thrash it, close to nature. When the germ, the wheat germ or the germ is gone, you lose the place where the majority of the nutrients actually live. It's not cool. And refined and processed grains are acid forming. And when they're consumed as flour, they're kind of the back end cause of so many problems in the gut, such as bloating, and the brain gets, out of whack and our joints start to ache and get red and inflamed. And it's just not cool. The other thing that I don't like about white grains is the white refined and processed grains is the fact that they're rich in phytates. Now, phytates are little elements that latch onto water-soluble nutrients in the intestinal tract, and they make your body excrete water-soluble nutrients. So you can be having a healthy, salad sandwich or meat and salad sandwich or, some amazing meal dressed up as a pasta. And if it's on the white grain, you pee out the water-soluble nutrients. That's it. They're leached out of our body. Now, that's not cool because one of the main minerals that actually gets leached out of our body is chromium. Chromium is the mineral that when in deficit, when we're low in it, that's what sits behind type 2 diabetes. And I promise we could reduce or eliminate type 2 diabetes on the planet just by getting those refined and processed grains out of our shops. It's the easiest thing to make change for as a naturopath in a person's life. Like when we see that, people with type 2 diabetes, there's so simple tweaks that we can do to bring a really positive result. And this is one of them. No more bum glue, no white bread, no white rice, no white pasta, guys. It's not cool. So how can you tell if you've got a little bit of bum glue stuck there? Well, let me show you. So I want everyone to stand up. Like really, I'm serious. Stand up. Now, if you're driving, you're exempt. That's it. You don't have to. But you might want to do this little 5-minute test. Well, it's like a 1-minute test later on. So let's do it. So you're standing up. What I want you to do is with your fingertips, just put them on the outside of your legs, where your legs naturally, your hands naturally meet your legs. And what you do is with your fingertips is give it a good massage, hard and fast, just with your fingertips on the outside of your legs. Okay? And notice if you're sore on your left or your right leg. And you can sit down now. That was a test. I'll explain it. So these are actually reflex points that we use as naturopaths. They help to show us what's happening in the large intestine. Now, when we eat any food, it doesn't matter what it is, we eat. When we chew our food, which is what we're meant to do, and so many people don't do that well, but we chew our food, what happens is down near where the appendix is, there's a thing called the ileocecal valve, and that opens when foods hit your stomach. You eat, hits your stomach, ileocecal valve opens. What's in your stomach is meant to be going into your small intestine. What's in your small intestine is meant to be going into your large intestine. What was in your large is meant to exit your body. But what happens is, if you've been eating a diet that's high in white bread, white rice, white pasta, the same way that bum glue stuck like cement when you used it as glue as a kid, it does the same inside your body now, and it sticks to the walls of your bowel. Now, if you get headaches regularly, next time you've got a headache, find that point on your legs, because I promise it will be sore. Have a good drink of water and massage it for a minute or two, and you can move 60, 70% of your headache just doing that, because the majority of headaches are actually manifested or start in the large intestine, and it's that old stuff leaching through the walls of the bowel. So what do those 2 points mean? Simple. Now, if you were sore on your left leg, so that actually corresponds to what we call your descending colon, the last part down there before it goes out as waste. Your right leg corresponds to what we call your ascending colon. So if you were sore on your left leg, that means you've got some bum glue residue, bowel plaque, in your descending colon. It doesn't mean you're special. It means like you're like so much of the population, because we were all raised on white bread. Most people have some kind of residue there, and it's not cool. It's not meant to be there. Okay. Now, if you are sore on your right leg, that means that you're actually backed up to your appendix. And in clinic, we say that you're full of shit. We do. Now, before you go and race out and go and get a high colonic or something like that, that's not what it's about. All right. I'll give you how you can move it on. The first thing is to come from a place of prevention. Stop eating white bread, white rice, white pasta. Just stop eating it. That's really important. Okay. Don't keep putting it in. You've got to get that stuff out. The next thing is you want to make sure you have enough water. And I'll talk a lot about water in a future episode, but water, you particularly, that cement stuff just gets harder and stickier if you're not having enough water. So you're needing about 33 mils of water per kilo per day. So if you are a 60 kilo kind of person, 60 kilos times 33 mils, it's about 2 liters of water a day. What I find is most people in today's life, they actually need about 3 liters of water a day. And before you go, and my North American friends, that's about 100 ounces. Before you go, like that's a glass an hour, 1 glass an hour. And you could be, downing your iced coffee in the mornings like so many Americans do. And that's half of those ounces for the day. You can do it in coffee, you can do it in tea, you can do it in all the alcoholic things. And you think you can't do it in water? You can do it. It's a game changer to mobilize stuck bum glue. The other thing you want to do is make sure you have enough fibrous vegetables. So whether it's things like all your cabbages and your broccoli, all the good, crunchy, robust kind of greens, You want to have a diet close to nature, to be working like a broom on those old things. You want to mobilize it. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure, or if you do have some residue you do want to move, you would have heard of psyllium husks, or if you haven't heard of it, you're hearing about it right now. Now, psyllium husks it's the husk, the outside husk, the good part of a grain that it's like an intestinal broom. Now, it doesn't make poo. It's not a laxative. It won't do any of those kind of things. And laxatives don't work, guys, because laxatives, they liquefy what's in the middle, not what's on the walls. So you still poo, you'll do like punami or something exciting like that, but you still have the residue on the walls. Not cool. So what psyllium husks, spelled P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M, P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M, psyllium husks. So what they do is they make a fatter poo, and they absolutely over time just start, slowly and gently sloughing off the old stuck bum glue from the walls of your bowel. Now, if you're not having enough water and you have psyllium husks, well, you're just going to get all bloated. So make sure if you're going to try something like psyllium husks that you absolutely have enough water. That's it. A couple of really simple things. So today's healthy life hacks, really simple. Replace the white refined grains. Replace the white bread, white rice, white pasta with brown bread, brown rice, brown pasta. So we say brown or wholemeal here in Australia. In North America, you guys say wheat. So you want it as close to nature as possible. Now, don't go and think, I'm going to get one that's got 9 grains or 10 grains. Read the packet, because so many of the grain breads are still in a white refined base. And that's where you start getting into even more trouble. That's not good, because those grains are not meant to sit there and fester on the walls of your bowel. It's real, guys. So healthy life hack number 1, replace white bread, white rice, white pasta with brown bread, brown rice, brown pasta. Whoa! Nice and simple. Okay, and so healthy life hack number 2 for today is, if you think you've got some residue there, you did the test on your legs, get some psyllium husks, P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M husks. Make sure you're having a glass of water an hour, let them do the job. And it might take a few weeks or a month to start getting it really clean, but it will. And it's really important. So if you would like to get a copy of today's show notes, head over to my website, jenniferjeffries.com/bum glue, and we will get them sent to you. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month I draw one lucky person who leaves a review on Apple Podcast to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from so that you always catch the next episode. If you would like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below and join my newsletter, and we will get that free ebook sent to you. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. And until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.